3 Russian subs slip inside torpedo range of a US carrier. Link 16 lights up across NATO in seconds. 8 P-8s launch from multiple bases. What happens when a Cold War wolfpack meets a 2025 sensor net? Stay for the blow-by-blow, boxing sonobuoy patterns, 140 dB active pings, and a Virginia-class shadowing on electric motors. By the end, the Norwegian Sea isn't a hunting ground, it's an acoustic cage. You'll see how a data-fused alliance turns stealth into a liability, and why those subs never got the signatures they came for. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. 3 quiet hulls slip inside potential torpedo reach, so how did they get tagged before they got paid?
It's sleek, silent, and potentially apocalyptic.
The Russians have to underline now that they are in force to react to any threat from the west.
At a shipyard in Severodvinsk, northern Russia, Russia has rolled out its newest nuclear-powered submarine.
They came to pull a fingerprint, not start a fight. The job was simple on paper: ride the edge of the Ford CSG, blend as a wolf pack, and soak up the telltale leaks a complex fleet can't help but shed. The play starts with deception. One sub flashes a noisy trail to drag sensors off axis. Another creeps abeam the carrier's logistics wake where prop wash can mask a churn of screws. The third stalks ahead, nose into the lane where the group will pass. They want 3 kinds of gold.
This is a new, chilling dimension to Russia's nuclear arsenal, one that moves silently beneath the wave. The launch sends a clear message. Russia's underwater deterrence is expanding, despite sanctions, isolation, and a costly war in Ukraine. Built under a secretive project, Khabarovsk is no ordinary submarine.
The carrier's radar fingerprints, the data link's timing and error habits, and the acoustic voice of the strike group across speed and sea states. You know why. A clean library turns chaos into a checklist. If they map those signatures, they walk into any future clash with a ready script. Threats get ID'd faster because the radar's micro-quirks, pulse shapes, side lobe speckle, scan cadence, sort cleanly from the background. Decoys bite harder because they mimic the known rhythm of a deck that's spinning up jets or recovering them. Firing windows tighten because the group's maneuver patterns under alert are no longer guesses, they're recorded habits, down to how fast the screen pushes out when air contacts stack. Signatures matter because ships speak even when silent. A carrier's acoustic voice shifts across speeds, gearbox hum steps through harmonics, blade rates bloom, and turbulence around the bulbous bow hisses different in heavy seas than in calm. Mast radars show microquirks in how they warm, ramp, and settle, the kind of tiny timing drift that labels a set like a watermark. Comm's timing patterns hint at posture, interleave gaps widen when crews move to Emken light, then narrow when the flight deck cycles. None of that is public. All of it is gold in a fight.
It's designed to carry out Poseidon nuclear torpedoes, autonomous underwater drones with virtually unlimited range.
This carrier of underwater weapons and robotic systems will enable us to successfully secure Russia's maritime borders and protect its national interests in various parts of the world's oceans.
Unlike traditional nuclear missiles, it cannot be stopped by missile shields, satellites, or anti-ballistic defense systems.
But mid-century wolfpack rules crash in 2025. Real-time data fusion across nations scrubs the ocean picture. A decoy's too clean tone gets flagged by machines that cross-check time, place, and hydrography. Cross-cueing kills ambiguity. A surface tracker hears the same faint note a patrol jet sees in mad trends, and the net votes. The old art of sowing doubt meets a network that compares, remembers, and does not tire. Detection flips the board in seconds. Link 16 bursts the first credible tracks into a shared map. Arleigh Burke destroyers swing their bow sonars and stream and /SQR-19 towed arrays, walking bearings while filtering layer effects.
Capable of generating radioactive tsunamis to obliterate coastal cities. The Khabarovsk is expected to join Russia's Pacific Fleet, where it will operate alongside the Belgorod, another special-purpose sub armed with Poseidon. The United States and NATO have reportedly not acknowledged having any system capable of intercepting a deep-sea nuclear drone like Poseidon.
A Virginia-class slides into trail on electric drive, trimming speed so the towed array sits straight and quiet, listening for the telltale blade rate drift that marks a turn or depth change. The picture stops being local. It becomes common. Then the cage moves. 8 Poseidons lift from spread-out bases and build a box that shifts with the current. They seed directional sonobuoys in a boxing pattern, corners, sides, center fills, so no lane stays dark for long. Active pings go out. Passive ears wait in the gaps for flow noise, pump notes, and cavitation spikes. Each new drop narrows the weave. Every 140 dB pulse flips stealth into spotlight for a beat, and that's enough. Helicopters drop in and hang their dipping sonar like a stethoscope through the thermal layers that hold sound. Royal Navy ships pull Type 2087 towed arrays across the exits like a dragnet, the long aperture catching faint bearing lines from far out. The layers stack. The lanes close. Within minutes the ocean stops being wild and starts acting like a controlled acoustic range. The wolfpack's trick signals peel away from human motion. One false trail has no wake, no depth wobble, no matching radar shift topside. The intel take dries up because constant track forced the subs off the envelope where the carrier speaks loudest. You can't harvest clean emissions when you're dodging pings and shifting course to break a line of bearing. So the game flips from hunting to surviving the net. And now that stealth collapsed under a live sensor web, the next hours turn mean, sustain pressure, fatigue, and choices that cut in every direction, burn battery and sprint, or sit still and let the box tighten. Stealth dies when the water does the seeing. The net listens, compares, and votes. Signature hunting flips into signature surrender the moment those shared tracks harden. So what's the counter you'd field? Quieter hulls that blur blade rate, smarter decoys that breathe like metal, or jamming that muddies the links and delays the vote? Comment your choice below and subscribe if you want the tactics that decide these fights. The next round won't wait. Here's the hard line: ASW at scale punishes bold moves. Survive the pings, or don't play near the cage. And if you still go, bring a trick the net hasn't learned yet.